It's believed that the souls of a man are in some sort of simulation and normally come to reality. The ego is what's required to direct in this particular reality, and this reality is, in fact, a place where some souls come to level up. And that part and parcel of being here is that we have an ego. To this end, the ego is very important. But even with that, it can be dissolved for some time. You may notice that everything seems to be following a particular pattern. It's like everything you come in contact with are somehow related to each other. This is called synchronicity of events, and this comes as a result of the fact that you started experiencing ego disassociation. It's believed that the synchronicity of events are signals from the simulation.
When a person sets out on the way of liberation, his first problem is to become free from his past karma. The popular theory of karma, the word that literally means action or doing in Sanskrit, so that when we say that something that happens to you is your karma, it's like saying in English it's your own doing. Karma is a sort of built-in moral law, or a law of retribution, such that all the bad things you do and all the good things you do have consequences which you have to inherit. And so long as karmic energy remains stored up, you have to work it out. And what the sage endeavors to do is a kind of action which in Sanskrit is called 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗃 karma. 𝗃𝗵 means without passion or without attachment, karma, action. And so whatever action he does, he renounces the fruits of the action so that he acts in a way that doesn't generate future karma, because future karma continues you in the wheel of becoming, samsara, the round, and keeps you being reincarnated. Now then, in that case, when the time comes that you start to get out of the chain of karma, all the creditors that you have start presenting themselves for payment. In other words, a person who begins, say, to study yoga is felt that he will suddenly get sick, or that his children will die, or that he'll lose his money, or all sorts of catastrophes will occur, because the karmic debt is being cleared up. And there's in no hurry to be cleared up if you're just living along like anybody, but if you embark on the spiritual life, a certain hurry occurs. And therefore, since this is known, it's rather discouraging to start these things.
Well, cyber demons don't seem so bad. They're scarier in Doom 1 and 2 than they are in this game. Alright, where to next? Weapon mastery. If it wasn't clear, I've already mastered these weapons. I don't need your little floppy disk. In here. Hey, it's a weapon thing. There's a button there. I'll come back to that button. We'll get this. What should I apply this to? I suppose I could get the precision bolt now. Or that heat blast thing. That might be useful. I feel like this is all I need for the precision bolt, though. Maybe the heat blast. It's like an area of effect thing, huh? It's hard to tell which of these weapon mods I even have equipped sometimes. I've been wanting to use this just to zoom in on stuff. Heat blast does seem pretty handy. It's funny, I don't want this for combat. I want this so I can look at stuff in the environment closer. Yeah, I might have to go with that. Being able to hit things with precision bolts might be kind of nice, too. Yeah, we're gonna go with this. It's like buying binoculars. Perfect. See, now I can, nothing to read in here. I can read that. No logistics, or IO logistics. Well, I can bring it closer. Whether or not I'm actually able to read it is kind of up to my capacity for reading. Oh shit, I fell. Yeah, binoculars, but on a gun. There's an upwards area. I guess there was an area above that I might have missed. Can I go in there and do that? Is that a thing? Was there like a climbing area over here that I missed out on? Yeah, I feel like there's something in here. Am I crazy? Don't answer that. Alright, so let's, ooh, there's a charge up thing. I guess that was a checkpoint. What do you do?
This is Dr. Elena Richardson, log entry 002. Subject analysis of Doomslayer, January 24th, 2163. There is no chance that the subject is a demon. We have blood samples pulled from the Mars base event that show his blood type is AB positive. He is male with a genome that makes him very much a member of the human race. But the enhanced strength, speed, and athleticism would indicate otherwise. But we can see from the blood samples that there are foreign bodies present of unknown origin. I cannot, as a contributing member of the scientific community, agree with the assumption by some of my colleagues that he is, for lack of a better word, a god, an avenging angel, the right hand of doom, here to save humanity from its sins.
I like the sound of all that.
I cannot ignore that the timing of his arrival, the identity of his enemies, the fire and brimstone element to this catastrophe we currently find ourselves in has definitely shaken my scientific resolve.
I say we go with the avenging angel theory. Although I'm glad she had news that I'm not a demon. I was questioning that for a couple days there.
These horrifying abominations are more suited to an H.P. Lovecraft novel, not really the Bible.
Doom! What's up, 𝗃𝗘𝗍𝗍𝗶? Oh god! No! We're good, we're good, we're good. We're God. Why? Why am I bad at this? How am I supposed to get up there? Were I actually a god, this would be much easier. I'm not certain, but I should probably check my map. You suck. Hey, you missed me taking out 2 cyber demons single-handedly, you piece of shit. What are you talking about? I just can't make this jump, okay? Oh no! What is down here? Is this just death? Oh, it's a jump pad. Well, you know, you don't know what you don't know, so you end up just kind of floundering around, trying to figure stuff out. We're in there. Hey, what up? Get blood punched. Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna swap that back out. We don't need that shit. How does an airplane just get, like, lodged in a building like that? Doesn't make any sense. The jet fuel would have vaporized everything. I think that's how that goes. I forget what we're supposed to believe. We're all talking about angels and demons. I suppose we could believe anything at this point, couldn't we? Extreme modern art. Ow. In the year 20XDX, things got a little wild. There's a thing in there. How do I get in? Through here, I guess. Pages. What's up? Alright, what do we have that we can get? I guess Belch. Oh yeah, demons drop armor at a faster rate. That'll give me ammo. But I could use more health. Maybe another health upgrade. Getting this upgrade would be nice. This system kind of forces you to balance out your upgrades as you get them. So clever. Yeah, let's go for ammo.
Double upgrade.
𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗍 appeared, killed another player. Didn't you just tell me about this?
Yeah, there's that whole idea, what if we were just a brain in a vat? This is often posed by philosophers, except we are a brain in a vat. That vat is our skull.
In the past century, quantum mechanics revolutionized our understanding of physical reality at atomic scales, while general relativity did the same for our understanding of reality at large scales. There is a growing number of scientists who think that nature itself is the result of quantum computation. According to them, the world would, in the last instance, be rooted in physics, particularly quantum mechanics. One world perspective held by many computer scientists and philosophers is the simulation hypothesis, which provides that all of reality, including the Earth and the rest of the universe, could in fact be an artificial simulation.
This is an application called the Space Simulation Toolkit. It simulates these atoms in a digital universe and gives all of them different chemical properties and then just lets them simulate.
If you analyse the history of video games, there is a clear innovation curve in the quality of games.
You know, like say the most advanced video game would be Pong. Now you can see a video game that's almost photorealistic and millions of people playing simultaneously, and you see where things are going with virtual reality and augmented reality. And if you extrapolate that out into the future with any rate of progress at all, like even 0.1% or something like that a year, then eventually those games will be indistinguishable from reality. They'll be so realistic you will not be able to tell the difference between that game and the reality as we know it. Well, how do we know that that didn't happen in the past and that we're not in one of those games ourselves?
real. I know this is crazy, but that this is what is happening in real time. And if you also look at all of these different things, you'll start to notice that little intelligent creatures start to appear. They look kind of similar to everything else, but they move with purpose. And they'll move throughout the world trying to figure out where they can find food, where they can also find sunlight and be warm. They'll fight one another, they'll kill one another, they'll eat one another.
Based on the current rate of progress, VR could become indistinguishable from reality. 𝗍𝗂𝗄𝗏 claims that in the future, we could be able to simulate the human intelligence as original as the real thing. So when that happens, there won't be a difference between a simulation and our reality, which would enable limitless possibilities. One being, we will be able to create a whole new universe. In theory, our whole universe could have been created by some super intelligence, and it's quite plausible that our universe is a computer simulation.
Notice that the different communities of organisms will evolve differently depending on the type of environment that they grow up in.
If you simulate something as precise as the original thing, I don't think actually there is a difference. This universe could have been created by some super intelligence in another universe. So maybe our whole universe is a junior high school science experiment of some super intelligent junior high school student in another universe.
And we have kind of like a small collection of creatures here that are chasing down, what is this? The small last bit of plant matter in this area, and you can see that they're actually starving to death. This is kind of cool. This is a rare catch. It looks like this is a small community of organisms that have left their home turf, and you can see that they're all starving to death because they're chasing after this very small amount of plant matter. They're expending a lot of energy, but they're in a place where they can't really survive, so they're all dying.
Elon Musk also supports the idea that we are living in a computer simulation. According to him, there's a 1,000,000 to 1 chance we're living in base reality.
I mean, there's some interesting things here on the virtual reality front, on the whole notion of a simulation, which is that if you extrapolate into the future and say, well, how good will video games be in 200 or 1,000 years from now? If there's continued improvement and you're in a full body haptic suit with a sort of surround vision, and it becomes indistinguishable from reality. And there are likely to be millions, maybe billions of such simulations. So then what are the odds that we're actually in base reality? Isn't it 1 in billions?
This is an example of a creature that lives in a very barren part of this simulated universe. And this creature has evolved to not move. So it'll actually wait for food to come by it. It has a completely different survival strategy. And let's actually go ahead, because we're a god, we can just blow this little creature's mind right now. Let's actually put in some plant matter, and you'll notice when we put in the plant matter and there's food available, it will start moving and it will eat that food. So there you go. There's some plant matter. Here, he's going for it. Now he's going to eat this, and now as he eats the plant matter, you'll actually see his body chemistry change, and he will begin to reproduce and create copies of himself.
What's outside the simulation? There may be ways to test whether it's a simulation. There might be. I'm not saying there aren't, but you could certainly imagine that a simulation could correct. Once an entity in the simulation found a way to detect the simulation, it could pause the simulation, start a new simulation, or do one of any other things that then corrects for that error.
The 33-year-old was to participate in a 3D workshop and tech conference with other businessmen and women. Her company, Tinker Ventures, had previously endorsed brain-machine interface technology that dealt with machine learning and neuroscience. After frantically calling her parents, exclaiming, "It's all a game, it's a thought experiment, we're in the Matrix," Valentine misses her flight home and is found dead a few days later, leaving behind a very strange mystery.
These different little creatures that begin to naturally evolve actually have DNA structures. So if we were to select this cell here, which is currently looking around for food, you can actually look at its genome. So you can get an idea of its DNA. And these different cells will go around, they will fight, they will reproduce. Oh, there you go. One actually just got killed, as you saw. So this creature actually just killed off one of those other cells.
Neil deGrasse Tyson also finds it hard to argue against the simulation hypothesis.
You look at our computing power today and you say, I have the power to program a world inside of a computer. Well, imagine in the future where you have even more power than that. You can create characters that have, for example, free will or their own perception of free will. So this is a world, and I program in the laws that govern that world. That world will have its own laws of physics and chemistry. Now you're a character in that world and you think you have free will, and you say, I want to invent a computer. Hey, I want to create a world in my computer. And then that world creates a world in its computer. And then you have simulations all the way down. So now you lay out all these universes and throw a dart. Which of these universes are you most likely to hit? The original one that started it, or the countless simulations, the daughter simulations that unfolded thereafter? You're going to hit one of the simulations.
I can't believe I'm even talking about this. This is so strange. And this is taking, oh, hey, look at this one. This one has a star. That's almost a perfect little star. Oh, that's interesting. Hey. And this is taking place on a massive scale. In fact, you can actually increase the simulation as much as you want. You can go further and further and further out and simulate an entire Earth of microorganisms if you really wanted to. We could intervene. We could grab this little guy and we could maybe move him. We could maybe help him find plant matter or bring plant matter to him. There you go, little dude. There you go. Yeah, there's some food for you. Look, now he's chasing after that plant matter. Oh, but he died. I guess. I don't know if he was sick or if he didn't have enough to eat or something like that.
Statistically, based on that argument, it's hard to argue against the possibility that all of us are not just the creation of some kid in a parent's basement programming up a world for their own entertainment.
And funny enough, you can also completely rip things in half, even the organisms themselves. So for instance, here's like one of the organisms, we can rip him in half and now he's dead. This guy too. And you can actually, interesting enough, you can rip off parts of them and they will not immediately die. So for instance, we've kind of mortally wounded this cell now, and the more that we take him apart, eventually, there we go, now he's completely dead. It's almost kind of like ripping off a limb. Let's take all these guys and let's actually transport them. Oh, I think I just killed 2 of them. Oh, I just definitely killed 2 of them. All right, we're gonna take this one guy then. Come here, buddy. This is really fun. This is almost better than an ant farm. Look at this. This is a reef that is, it seems to kind of be dying. So you can see the organisms are actually dying inside. So this is a reef that is overpopulated. And now you'll slowly start to see these organisms dying off. Yeah, there you go. There goes another one. Because they have no food. Because they've overpopulated this reef and they've stripped it of all of its natural resources. And now all of the creatures that were here slowly start to die off. Look at that. That's so weird. That's so cool. Let's actually see if we can stop this thing.
I know I've let you down. I've been a fool to myself. I thought that I could live for no one else. But now, through all the hurt